Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Kay, and I'm here today to bring you guys Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 117. So yeah, I don't think this review is gonna be long today. It's been a week without, Beyond the Gates content because of the hiatus. But of course, as we know, Beyond the Gates will be beginning back on Monday, and so I'm excited for that because it's been a little slow in my TV watching life, you know what I mean? We ain't had no content all week. But so not much has happened. Kat and Eva are still in the hospital. They are still recovering from, of course, the liver surgery transplant. We see both of the girls go through a bit of therapy. You got Kyle giving Kat therapy, and you have Shanice giving Eva therapy. Isaiah is visiting with Eva, and he is talking to her. They're just having a little catch up, Eva is filling Isaiah in on everything, that her and Kat's conversation, about her and Kat's conversation. Leslie does walk into the room. Isaiah said he's going to leave because he has a meeting with his students. But Leslie walks into Eva's room and basically is telling her, she'll be out of the hospital soon, and, she's turning over a new leaf. And that, once Eva goes home, Leslie is going to move back in. So this is news to Eva. Eva is not very receptive to the news. Matter of fact, she's totally against it. She wants her mama to remain at the hotel. Leslie then tells Eva and Isaiah that the house was destroyed in the tornado. And she was just like, well, I can, the apartment is paid for, so I might as well just stay there with you. And of course, Eva and Isaiah have their own little routine going. They can't do what they want to do and move freely with Leslie there. Even though Leslie probably wouldn't care, but it's just the fact that, like, Leslie is a hoverer. And so Isaiah kind of butts into the conversation, and Leslie was like, who asked you, or whatever like that. And so basically, Isaiah leaves the room and goes to have a conversation with Ted. He just wants Ted to speak some sense into Leslie because, he don't want Leslie at Eva's house. Eva needs her own space. But nonetheless, Leslie, reiterates that she's a different person. This experience has changed her, and she's thankful or whatever, and she's not going to be mean and, conniving and all the adjectives for despicable. All the synonyms for despicable. Kat has a visit from Deanna, and so basically, it's looking like, to me, at least in my opinion, that Kat is Deanna's go-to person right now because Deanna doesn't feel heard or seen. And so she basically just gets some advice from Kat. Kat fills her in on a little bit of her dream and tells Deanna that she was able to get a little bit of perspective, through her dream for understanding Eva. Also, during this time, Joey and Vanessa are having lunch or what have you at Uptown. Okay, so Doug's ghost visit Deanna again, and he basically, tells her that, it's on her to help stop, Joey from destroying their family or whatever like that. And so this is motivating Deanna, and I want to say that the writing is trying to get us to go into, it's trying to get us to go into Deanna's psyche a little bit. But nonetheless, she talks to Doug, and I guess this is her way of being comforted because she's not really over what happened to her dad. She still is taking it hard. But nonetheless, she goes to meet her mom there, and her mom is with Joey at Uptown. And so she finds out that they want to go to Napa, or Joey plans this trip for him and Vanessa to go to Napa, what's the word? Spontaneously, that's the word. And so Vanessa's pretty much down. Joey said neither one of them have anything that's stopping them or whatever like that. And so we know what happened last time Joey and Vanessa went on a rendezvous. I'm just saying. And then that trailer, I don't like the way Joey said, "Do you know anything about Deanna? Does she know you?" I'm not feeling that, because Joey, what you mean? I hope that you don't try to do nothing to that girl, Joey, because they will be on you like white on rice. But nonetheless, meanwhile, back at the hospital, Leslie overhears Isaiah having a conversation with Ted, and she's thinking that Isaiah is going to Ted for Eva's hand in marriage. Now, initially, a couple episodes ago, when everything was happening and the girls first went to the hospital, and the way Isaiah was talking, I just knew when Eva was, doing better or in a better place, that he was going to propose, because he was declaring his love for her and how she's the center of his world and he's never felt this way about a girl before, and this, that. I totally did not have my mind set on it being Kat and Tomas. Like, But nonetheless, so Nicole sees that Leslie is eavesdropping, and so she tells Nicole that, Isaiah is asking for Eva's hand in marriage. So Nicole approaches Ted and was like, do you have something you need to tell me or something? Or is Isaiah coming to you to ask for Eva's hand in marriage? He was like, or anyway, no. The answer was no. And he was just like, what are you talking about? And then he tells her that Tomas asked him for Kat's hand in marriage. And she was just, I'm just glad that he told her. Because, sometimes Nicole is the last to find out about stuff. And you know how she feels about that. Because she was really angry at Ted in the past about, not filling her in and keeping her in the loop or whatever. So he tells her that. And then he asks Nicole, do you think we should intervene on Kat and allow her to make this decision? And Nicole was like, no, she needs to make her own decision or whatever like that. So she was like, she made the right decision about helping out Eva. She'll make the right decision about the engagement with Tomas. Honestly, I feel like if Tomas proposes, I'm not necessarily 100% sure that Kat will say yes. I feel like it'll go one or two ways. I feel like he will propose. Well, we seen the trailer of him proposing at the party, but he will either propose and she will say no in front of the family, or she'll propose in front of the family, say yes, and then her and Tomas will have a separate conversation about the proposal after everybody is gone. Because I don't necessarily know if Kat want to do it. Or, I'm just interested because, last time we saw her having that conversation with Chelsea, she made it seem like she was the least interested in getting married right now. She has a whole lot of stuff on her plate that she wants to do before she gets married. And Ted and Nicole are both against they are against Tomas proposing to Kat right now because they feel like he's proposing out of heightened emotions, which, is true. It's true. But, like Madison said in a couple episodes prior, people, this be a wake-up call for people a lot. And, people just want to go ahead and just move forward, What else? Oh, yeah, of course, I have to talk about Danny and Bill. Okay, so as we know, Haley walked in on Danny and Bill last episode. And so Haley was, questioning Bill on why Danny is there. Of course, we saw Haley have a conversation with Randy, and she knows that Danny still has her claws into Bill, or she still has a big effect on Bill's mind. She doesn't necessarily know what happened during the tornado, but I think she's starting to get an inkling that something has gone on, because she said Bill's behavior has been different. So now that Danny has said an old dog don't do new tricks, Haley is all up in the tizzy, creating this whole thing for Bill to where she can get Bill where she wants him to take advantage of him. And so basically she tells Bill that, I thought we had all these new experiences, but turns out you've been recycling old things and been doing things that you've been doing with Danny. And he said he was seasoned in experience. He's lived a lot of life or whatever like that. And so she basically talks Bill into going skydiving, and she says that he is adamantly against it, but you know, she's trying to get him to go skydiving, talking about something it's gonna lift your heart rate up, and then it's gonna give her a thrill, and it's gonna make her and him want to, you know, do what married people do. But she has already given him the antidote. So that lady is trying to off that man. She's trying to off that man. She's trying her best, and she's trying to speed up the process. But I just hate this because, you know, if all this happens and if something happens to Bill, Danny is not going, she's not going to be okay. And so I feel like, oh, I feel so bad for Andre. I just feel so bad for Andre. I'm interested to see what's going on. I was rooting for them, but nonetheless, that's all that really happened in this episode. Was nothing juicy. Nothing juicy. All the juicy stuff supposed to be happening this week. Sorry, y'all. So, I think that's all I have for my review today. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos. Deuces.